What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and god damn it, it's happening again, is all I can say. So, it's currently Saturday, the 8th of October, and yesterday, Mafia 3 released on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Now, there was a big warning sign about a week, maybe a little over a week beforehand, where 2K Games said that they won't be providing, or they most likely and generally won't be providing, I should say, the review copies and review codes for people to review the game pre-release. Now, for a lot of people, that can set off alarm bells and warnings straight away when either they refuse to provide them or they give embargoes on release dates. Embargoes that it's really weird. It's embargoes that go beyond the actual release date. For example, say the game released yesterday, if an embargo was preventing the release date until today, that's the big issue. Now, I know that's not the case for Mafia 3, but either way, you get the idea. The fact that they didn't send out review copies beforehand. Now, not well in advance anyway, and not widespread, because this issue I first heard about on Thursday, just gone, so it would have been the day before release. So a couple of people did get review copies, albeit at the last second. Now, where this actually comes into its own is there's a reported lot of problems with Mafia 3. Now, some of these problems are kind of... See, I hate saying this. Some of these problems are to be expected from AAA releases on PC nowadays, which in itself is fucking bullshit. I shouldn't have... Now, I'm not planning on playing Mafia 3 at all, but you get this goes to any game in general that's going to release. If I'm going to buy a game on PC, I shouldn't have to expect it to be broken just because it's a PC game, just because they want to develop for consoles, or just because they want to do a half-ass port, or whatever the fuck it is. It shouldn't happen. I shouldn't have to fucking worry about that kind of stuff. But you know, it's 2016, so yeah, developers are going to do it and they're going to get away with it. Oh well, not completely, but I mean, I know it seems a lot of franchises and a lot of companies have garnered a crap load of support against them, and people have stopped, or at least cooled down on buying their games for the simple reason is they're sick of putting up with bullshit. I know I've personally stopped buying a couple of I've personally stopped buying games by a couple of specific publishers or developers simply because they can fuck themselves and die. Looking at you, EA, looking at you, DICE, looking at you, BioWare, well, there's a few more. I could go on all day, but you get the idea. Now, back to some of the other points. Some of the other big issues with Mafia is... Now, I can't verify any of this firsthand, but I'm going from a lot of threads all over the internet, a lot of comments on Twitter. You've got a lot of people talking about it on actual news sites and things like that. You got a lot of people talking about it on Steam. I'm sure there's other people talking about it on YouTube as well, but I can't personally verify it myself. So one thing I do see, well, several things I do see, is that it seems that the highest graphical settings are either on par or extremely marginally above the consoles. So now, I'm all for consoles having good graphics. I have another video in the works specifically talking about that. But what I don't like is when developers are just lazy fucks and just say, well, give it to the PC crowd and they can play it the same as the Xbox One. You know, there's tons of people out there. I don't mean to bash the consoles. This isn't bashing consoles. But the PS4 and Xbox One, even the PS4 Pro, maybe the Xbox One Scorpio will be immune to this, but those three consoles I just listed are relatively weak compared to high-end Well, they are weak compared to high-end PC hardware. So they're relatively weak compared to mid-range PC hardware, but they're obviously very weak compared to high-end PC hardware. A lot of people, especially with the new 10 series from Nvidia, have much easier and much more affordable access to very high-end hardware. And all these developers, or at least a lot of these developers, are just being cunts. And they're just saying, well, here, they can play it on a shitty little, they can play it on something that will use, at max settings, a quarter of their VRAM. that kind of shit. And that's bullshit. We pay all this extra stuff. A lot of these developers wouldn't be where they are today without PC gamers. Mafia 1, for example, sold like fucking, what's the term? I think it did gangbusters, I think is the term, on PC back in the day. And it was only released on PC at first. It was ported to the PlayStation 2 much later. And it probably wouldn't have made it to the PS2 if, for example, Mafia 1 didn't do so damn well. Now, there's tons of other games in that as well, but we're getting shit on. We're paying almost the same price for these games. PC games are always slightly cheaper because they don't involve, say, Xbox or the Xbox or PlayStation licensing fee, so they are slightly cheaper. Now, because of all that, because of saving a couple of euro on games, despite paying more expensive on hardware usually, and there's tons of other stuff to factor in as well, more customization, more actual work to get it up and running, more maintenance, all stuff like that. And because of that, we have to suffer with poor ports of games. Fuck that. I've said this in several videos because this happens all the time. And every fucking time it happens, I get pissed off about it. And like I said, I don't plan on playing Mafia 3 at all. I never did. I'm not really interested anymore. Loved Mafia 1. Mafia 2 didn't really appeal to me. I played the demo back on the 360. Mafia 3, I just have no interest whatsoever. But the principle is still the same. There are thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, probably even millions of people out there who are going to get who have possibly already been shafted on a shitty, inferior version on PC. Now, I'm not saying inferior as in the way, console style. I'm just saying inferior from what it should be. Broken game, crappy textures, crappy performance, all this stuff. And I haven't even got to the biggest, most important part that pisses me the fuck off. I'm popping peas all over the place now. I'm just getting angry, so it's just, I'm holding back a bit less. Now, I'm going to get to the last part right now, actually. You've probably guessed it by the name of this video as it is already. And Mafia 3 on PC, no matter what settings you use, what hardware you use, what fucking anything you use, and there's no option to change this whatsoever, has a 30 frames per second cap on PC, where you can run an i7 5960X, you can run an i7 6700K, you can put in two GTX 1080 Founders Editions, you could put in two GTX Pascal Titan X's, for some reason I forgot the name of it there for a second, and no matter what settings you use with either of those configurations, you could put it all the way down to the lowest, all the way up to the highest, you will not break 30 FPS at all. For the simple fucking reason is these developers did a lazy ass job with their fucking port of their fucking game. And now, because of that, it deserves to get savaged on PC as it currently is. All the stuff I've said in the video before makes it deserve to get savaged anyway, but this especially is possibly the worst thing. We as PC gamers, we have access to not only the hardware, internal PC hardware, we also have high resolution monitors, extremely fast refresh rate monitors. There are monitors out there at the moment that legitimately go up to, I think the highest I've seen is maybe, I think it might be about 216 hertz. I know there's one from Asus Republic of Gamers that actually is 180 hertz, but I'm pretty sure I have seen another one from them as well somewhere that's around 216 hertz, give or take. It's been a while, I only saw it in passing, but the point is, developers do not give us the option to use all this. Like, it blows my mind how executives can make this decision. Because we all know at the end of the day, it's not the dev team that makes these choices. It's the suits, the guys, the money crunchers, the bean counters, the motherfuckers in the suits who have no idea. These motherfuckers who have probably spent, 20 years as a high-level car executive somewhere. They've overseen the production and research and development of like new cars or fucking new technologies, new furniture innovations. A lot of these people don't have, well, now that I think about it, that's usually something that's common in Eastern game development, not so much Western game development, but you get the idea. It could potentially be happening. But these are the people who will they'll look at it and just say, fuck it. Give them, this is good enough. Give them this shit. Remember the whole Warner Brothers Arkham Knight thing? Yeah. One of their executives was quoted as, it's good enough. Release it. So fuck them. Fuck Mafia. Fuck 2K games. Now, that especially burns my balls as well, because I like a lot of 2K games. A lot of the developers under 2K games as a publisher. I mean, Borderlands 2 is under 2K games. I fucking love Borderlands 2. So there's so much else in there as well, but I'm not going to get into the whole thing. But the fact is, it shouldn't have released in a AAA game with a big ass budget, a big ass team, big ass developer, and big ass fucking publisher behind them in 2016, releasing with a fucking 30 FPS cap and a fucking shitty ass broken port of a game. It's ridiculous. Now, sure, there are worse ports and worse releases out there. Doesn't justify this. I realize this isn't the worst of the worst, but it's still bad that it's fucking happening. Now, there is one other thing I want to put in right at the end, right now, before I finish up the video, is that the developer has actually put out a statement on release day yesterday, and they have said, okay guys, PC players, we know you guys want better options and higher graphical options and better frame rates. We're working on that. We should have a patch very soon. They currently have a patch running in their studio at 30 FPS, 60 FPS, and an unlimited FPS count as well. I don't know if that specific patch actually includes all the better graphics options or working graphics options, but they've only really specifically said that they have a patch that runs at 30, 60 and unlimited FPS. They do hope to push it out over this weekend, so if you are a Mafia 3 player looking for higher frame rate after you have your beast ass hardware, this could be the weekend for you. It's the fix you're hopefully looking for, but it's the fix that you shouldn't have to be looking for. So let me know anyway in the comment section below what you think about the whole Mafia 3 ordeal. Are you getting schemed on it? Are you one of those people that got shafted by the 30 FPS cap? Are you getting screwed by the graphics options? Have you noticed anything like that in it? Or is it just literally tens of thousands of people just kind of doing complete hyperbole because internet going to internet, you know? So let me know all that anyway in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. Details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.